I'm Josh Kelly, welterweight, currently 6-0, fighting for the Commonwealth title. Follow Sport Icons.
Right, so I just watched the highly anticipated, or at least for myself anyway, between CONOR BENN and CEDRICK PEYNAUD. The first fight was a 6-rounder, both guys got dropped a couple of times. Dubious decision potentially for a CONOR BENN win. For me, I had like the first one as a draw, I'll probably say. But anyway, so this rematch is a 10-rounder. And didn't start off too good for CONOR BENN, I don't think. Now, I know that CEDRICK PEYNAUD, he got a count against him in the second round. That was no way in hell was that a drop down. It wasn't at all, in my opinion. So I didn't give that round to CONOR BENN at all. And for probably the first 4 rounds, I had CEDRICK PEYNAUD winning that one quite comfortably, to be honest. Now, it all changed after about then. From round 5 onwards, CONOR BENN just was starting to get a bit more confidence, and he was sticking to his game plan, which was literally jab and move, and he was still doing the trading, and that's always going to happen. But it did make it difficult for CONOR BENN, the fact that CEDRICK PEYNAUD came in as a southpaw. Obviously, he switched it, and he was southpaw for like the first several rounds. For the last part, he did revert back to his natural orthodox style. And maybe that threw CONOR BENN, certainly, and PEYNAUD started off on fire, literally on fire, and he dominated him in the first round. Now, there was 2 legitimate knockdowns in round number 7 and round number 9. First one was a body shot from CONOR BENN, and CEDRICK PEYNAUD was like, no, and took a knee. So fair play. Now, PEYNAUD came to fight, and CONOR BENN did well. You know, he really did. But the problem that I'm having right now, and I know that his amateur career wasn't very extensive, and I know this is only his 13th pro fight, but a guy like CEDRICK PEYNAUD, who is, in all intents and purposes, a journeyman. CONOR BENN should be walking through these kind of guys without any real issue. Now, don't get me wrong, a 6-rounder in the first one and a 10-rounder now is going to do him good for long term. But I'm not seeing anything that gives me confidence to say he's going to be a world champion one day. And I hope to God I'm wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong. But if you're struggling against CEDRICK PEYNAUD, how are you going to be coping with the other guys? Now, I know he's improving all the time. He's learning new things. So where his end of the rainbow will be, who knows? There is no ceiling really for him. He could go up and up and up, and just at some point everything comes together and becomes an elite athlete. But as of right now, you put him in there even against a British level, I think he probably gets done, in all fairness. For example, so he's welterweight and Josh Kelly is welterweight. Josh Kelly will beat up CONOR BENN, no problem. That's just my opinion, of course. But as I said, you never know. CONOR BENN could turn a corner and become something amazing, and that's what I really hope. And unfortunately for him, he does have that shadow of his father over him. He is starting to break out of the shadow, no doubt, and he's very, very tough. He's game for a brawl, and you could see he just wants to brawl. He just wants to fight, and at times that's what he was doing, and he was getting clipped proper flush by CEDRICK PEYNAUD, and he did well to stay on his feet at times. But as I said, listen, it was a dominant win, okay? The opening rounds, okay, fine. He gave away those opening rounds, no problem. The referee did make it a 10-8 round in favour of CONOR BENN in round number 2. Ain't no hell in way that was. But ultimately, CONOR BENN did finish strong, and he did what he had to do to get the win. He was hanging on a little bit toward the end, no doubt, in like the final round. But as I said, I mean, it could just be a case of CEDRICK PEYNAUD is just a wrong style for him. Really, I mean, somebody who's going to come and brawl, CONOR BENN, although he's a brawler himself, maybe he's not that good at a brawl. I don't know if I'm being unfair, and I don't mean to be, because he's got my full support, and I do want him to go on and do great things. And of course, I want to keep on supporting him, and I like him. I really do like him. He's a bit of an arrogant bugger at times, or at least he appears to be. But ultimately, he is supporting and fighting for the British, so he's always got my support, and I'm sure you guys as well. But against somebody like CEDRICK PEYNAUD, he should be dominating. Now, he dominated a points win, but ultimately he should really be stopping this kind of guy. Okay, PEYNAUD is tough. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's not, but he is. But Anyway, I mean, I don't want to harp on too much about it, but it was a very dominant performance from Conor Benn. As I said, he dropped Peynaud in round number 7 and number 9, and that definitely swung in the favour of Conor Benn. Arguably, even without the knockdowns, I think Conor Benn would have won anyway. But the way that he was giving up those earlier rounds and the way that he was getting tagged throughout the fight with some pretty big punches is worrying me just a little bit. I have to be perfectly honest. So anyway, you drop your thoughts below. How did you see that fight? Do you see the improvements in Conor Benn? Do you see the improvements for, I mean, I said it's only his 13th fight, so maybe he is improving. And he is certainly, but they're not dramatic enough in my mind. He talks about how he's going to be a boxer and show how he's boxing this fight. And in flashes he did, but he still resorts to type. To use the Tony Bellew term, he does. And I think that's always going to be there, and I think at some point he may well get chinned. I hope I'm wrong, but anyway, you drop your thoughts below about all this. Click that thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all on the next video.